This is Mike Yastrzemski from the Giants, and I'm back on base.
Welcome back to another episode of the Jim on Base Show. For today's very special guest, we have on an outfielder and slugger for the San Francisco Giants. Please welcome back a friend of the show, the great Mike Yastrzemski. Mike, thanks for coming back on.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I know spring training's underway, so I got to ask, how was the move over to Arizona from Tennessee? Did everything go smooth?
Yeah, everything went as smooth as you could hope. It's nice getting out of the cold Nashville winter. You don't expect Nashville to be very cold, but it's not like the prettiest winter. It gets cold, rainy, so it's nice to be in the desert heat.
Yeah. Well, does the entire family, it sounds like they kind of come with you, right? Your wife, Paige, and baby?
Yep. So they both came out here, so they're just hanging out downstairs trying to put together a little play kitchen set. So that's today's today's afternoon efforts.
Well, you could probably have it down to a science, right? So I've always wondered, do you guys just get on the plane or do you rent like a U-Haul? Like, how do you pack everything for, a month or so?
Mostly the car. So we try and pack
Mm,
everything in the car that we can, and then we ship the car. And then we'll fly out here, and it's kind of tough because we have to pack for Arizona and then pack for the Bay, which is completely different. Because we don't get a chance to go back to Nashville and kind of like swap things out. So my wife will get a chance to do that, which would be nice. She'll go home for, probably a week before opening day and be able to bring some stuff home, which is great for her. And then I just have basically my entire life with me.
Well, it's got to be pretty interesting because through the year, you're living in like three places at once, right? You got San Francisco, Arizona, Tennessee, and then obviously when you're on the road during the season.
Yeah. So it's crazy because you have to get really good at looking at weather apps and understanding like different climates and different times
Mm,
of the year. So like we start in New York and it's going to be freezing early April. Then we go to Chicago, going to be freezing. Come to the Bay, it's going to be probably typical Bay weather.
yeah.
And then we go to Detroit and then Miami. So thinking about like that Detroit Miami trip is so funny because it's like, all right, pack a winter jacket, but also like bring your bathing suit.
Yeah. That's funny. Well, last time I had you on the show, your baby Quinley and your wife Paige, they were both taking naps because she was fresh, right out of the oven.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And those naps are so missed these days. Every 2 hours she would take a nap, and now it's like, okay, we get 1 2 hour nap.
Mm.
That's it.
Well, is she sleeping through the night now, or how's that going?
She is. Yeah, she's doing great. She's on like a 7 to 7 schedule,
Mm.
so that is very nice and very
Yeah.
appreciated from mom and dad.
Well, I was wondering if you have like a day game and you got to get up early, and then Quinley starts
Mhm.
crying, or there's an issue in the night. Do you get up, or does your wife kind of take over, or do you guys trade off?
Yeah, during the season, Paige does an awesome job of making sure that I get sleep and get rest,
Mm.
and that's like probably the hardest part of being married to a baseball player, I would assume, is that we're very needy in terms of like our sleep and our rest because we have this crazy schedule. And I'll get home at, you know, 12 o'clock at night and you have so much adrenaline still going that you're not going to bed till, 1:30, 2:30 in the morning. And then in order to be ready for the next day, you got to sleep till 10:30.
Mm.
Um, and so it's hard for the wives to really be 100% mom duty all the time. And they are very, very appreciated. That's for sure.
Yeah. A little shout out for Paige then, mom of the year, right?
Exactly. Mom and wife of the year.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, it must be fun. I've seen them at games, in the stands in the family
Hmm.
section. So it must be fun to see them at the stadium. And is there any other moments you kind of look forward to or are cherishing as a new dad so far?
Yeah, those moments are really cool because you just never know how long you're going to be able to play for. And to have even just like pictures or memories of having your entire family with there is really special because that's kind of they're a big piece of the reason why we do it. We want to create really cool opportunities for our families and memories and them being able to travel all over the country to come with us and see us play and it's really special.
Yeah. Well, another thing I thought was cool, just on that baby topic was I know you were teammates with Tony Kemp right at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And I saw a cool photo on your Instagram. You had the Battle of the Bay babies photo since he plays for the A's.
Yeah. Yeah. once they get old enough, we're gonna have to have like a little softball home run derby or something
Mm.
like that between the two of them every time we have Battle of the Bay. But yeah, that was super special. We go way back. We've known each other for man over 10, 12 years now.
Mm.
And to have kids at such similar ages and for them to be hanging out and starting to create a really cool friendship together is so special, and it's fun to have that opportunity to take them on the field and have some cool pictures and a great experience because there's literally nobody else on the field. It was so cool.
Mm. Yeah, and what are the odds too to have all those things kind of on the same timeline, and then you're also playing right across from the bay from each other. It's pretty crazy.
Right. Yeah, there were a lot of crazy things that had to happen in order for that to line up, and we definitely took advantage of it.
Well, I think I saw a picture too. Looks like you're driving the Range Rover, so no minivan yet, or
Not yet. No. Trying to hold off as long as possible, and when it's just one kid, it's a lot easier to stay away from it.
I imagine your family and friends are probably asking, are you guys gonna have another one, or are you just staying put for now?
Yeah, we would love to. We're still kind of getting our bearings and seeing how this season's going to go first, and the idea would to hopefully have some more.
Gotcha. Well, as you know, the Super Bowl just happened too. So, were there any good pools or bets with Brandon Crawford or any guys on the team going on?
I actually got to be at Craw's Super Bowl party for the first time. He
Mm.
has a Super Bowl party every year. It was an awesome time. They had a catered event, different squares, everything going on. So that was the only thing that I got involved in were the squares over there, and I didn't hit a single one. So I'm thinking about holding off on March Madness now after I saw my Super Bowl luck.
Yeah, I saw some pictures. It looks like a Super Bowl party on steroids. Looks like a great time.
Oh my, it's unbelievable. They have like bounce houses for the kids. They got TVs everywhere, food everywhere. You can't like walk 3 steps without seeing another piece of food. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a
What?
perfect way to kick off spring.
Yeah, definitely. Well, have you been getting any golf in the off season or?
Yeah, I played as much as I could. Obviously a little less than
Yeah.
what I'm used to in the past, but yeah, got some fun rounds in. So haven't really played a whole lot out here. I've been just exhausted. Like for some reason, the desert heat just wipes
Mm.
me out. So hopefully in the next week or so, we'll catch a nice off day and get out there.
Yeah, I was at Pebble Beach a few weeks ago and saw your old teammate Buster Posey out there, and he was doing pretty good.
Yeah, he looked like he played okay.
Yeah, he's got a
So
good drive.
yeah, he's strong. I mean, we saw it on the field, and
Yeah.
it translates to the golf course for
Have you ever
him.
golfed Pebble Beach or?
I have not. I played Cypress, and I was gonna play Pebble, but it was kind of like during that COVID time, so it didn't work out.
Mm.
So hopefully coming up here soon.
Yeah. Well, another guy that was at that tournament, I think I've seen a photo of you with him, and I never know. I'm always insecure how to say his name. If it's Bargatze, but comedian Nate Bargatze was there, and he's a fellow Tennessee guy, right?
Yeah, so he actually lives in the same neighborhood as Sonny Gray, and
Mm.
we were roommates in college too. And so went to a show with Sonny and got to meet Nate, and he's an awesome dude. So we started playing golf together, hanging out. So we had a blast, and luckily last year when we were in Arizona, he was filming his new special that just came out, Hello World,
Yeah.
and I got to be there. I took a couple of my trainers and one of our coaches there, so we got to be there and hang out with Nate afterwards. It was awesome.
Yeah, I watched some of that, and I thought it was pretty funny. All the dynamics with his family and stuff. So pretty good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, really, really funny, and the fact that he can be that funny and keep it clean is like
Mm.
so mind blowing to me.
Yeah. Is he a, big baseball fan then, or?
Yeah, he likes baseball. He was always he grew up a Vandy fan,
Oh,
and
okay.
if you watch some of his earlier stuff, he'll kind of talk about how he grew up a Vandy fan, and they started telling him like, "Hey, you got to stop telling people that like we don't want to be associated with you." it's, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, I also saw it looked like a nice bonding event. You and some of your new teammates went to the Warriors game with some of the wives and girlfriends. Looked like a good time. Are you a big Warrior guy or?
I am. Yeah, I don't follow the NBA a lot, But once I got out into the Bay, it was really hard not to be a fan of those guys. Watching Steph, Clay, Draymond, and I actually went to college with Festus Ezeli, and
Oh,
so he
really?
he was on the team for a little while, and yeah, I actually caught up with him at the game, which was fun. So he those guys have gotten me back into it a little more, so it makes it a lot more fun to follow when I feel like there's some sort of connection.
Mm.
And it's been great to watch those guys' success, and watching Steph play in person is like he's playing a different game, man. He's
Yeah.
not playing basketball. Like everyone's running around playing basketball, and he's playing in his sleep. It's special to watch.
I want to know how many miles he runs during a game. All the weaving in and out. It'd be a great stat to know.
That would be interesting. I'm sure they've got it somewhere.
Yeah. Well, did you do any fun off-season trips with the family, or did you kind of stay low key?
We stayed low key for the most part, but we went to the Bahamas.
Mm.
Trey Mancini got married down there, and he's been a great friend of mine and Paige's
Mm.
since our Orioles days. He actually lived with us for an off season. It was me, Paige, and Trey. It was it was awesome. He's such a great dude, and his story's amazing. And so watching him get married down in the Bahamas, it was beautiful, and everyone's crying. It was emotional. Like it, there was a time where we weren't sure if we were going to be able to experience that for Trey, and to
Mm.
to kind of see that unfold was amazing.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Well, do you work out with him or anybody in the league in the off season, or?
Yeah, so I worked out with him for a little bit, and then he moved back down to Florida with his now wife Sarah.
Mm.
I work out with Kurt Casale, Tony, obviously. Sonny comes in every now and then. Work out with Adam Frazier. Sean Murphy was actually in Nashville this off season. So we had a good little group going.
I'm gonna miss Kurt Casale.
I'm not going to tell him you said that.
Yeah. Well,
Kurt's like my brother. He's like my punching bag.
well, everyone talks about the off season being physical, working out. Do you actually watch film in the off season too, or?
Not really.
Mm.
The only thing would be if I were trying to work on something with my swing, I would kind of use some film for that if I couldn't
Mm.
feel it, and I needed to see something visually that I wanted to try and figure out or improve on. So I don't really watch a whole lot of film in
Gotcha.
general.
And one thing about this upcoming season, when the schedule comes out, is that when you and the wife kind of plan road trips for the family to join you? And because it seems like the wives are pretty close and they like to link up on these road trips sometimes. So how does that all kind of go?
Yeah, that's usually planned pretty far in advance because you got to try and get the good ticket prices.
Mm.
Try because there are so many of them, it definitely adds up. And so we also try to look at it on the map and say, what's the easiest way to do this? When can you sneak home for a little bit, see your family? And then she also loves to go up and see my family too. So
Mm.
she's been great about, bringing my daughter up there, even if I can't go, making sure that, she can see my mom and my grandmother and all my cousins and aunts and uncles. And so it takes some effort, but she's so good at putting it all together and really getting ahead of the curve. And I'm a last minute planner. And so if it were up to me, I would probably botch the whole thing, but she keeps it so dialed in. So it makes it really easy for me.
Maybe the most important question of the interview I got to ask: are you still drinking bearded iris?
Absolutely.
Do you
There's
actually?
no better beer.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
See, that's a good plug for him right there. I'll have to send him that clip.
Yeah, exactly. No, they sent me some home style actually. They came and dropped it off at my house. It was awesome. I think one of the guys over there who listens to your show, and he heard about it and brought it on over, and I was like, this is sweet. Like
Yeah.
this is exactly what I'd hoped it would always happen at one point.
That's funny because they sent me some home style too. They sent me like a 6 pack and it was awesome.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Do you still go to the
That that
actual
that
brewery?
wasn't the first time. That wasn't the first time you had it though, was it?
No, it was, and it was great.
It
Yeah,
was. Yeah,
yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I've been down a couple times. They sell these new seltzers that are really good. They're called
Mm,
Neon Cowboy, and they have like everyone's been getting into the seltzer game, but the way that these tasted, they're like so crisp and refreshing. It's
mm.
not like it doesn't taste like it has any of those like additives or sugars or anything like that. It feels really light and refreshing. And so, especially early on when I'm home and it's like still hot out, like those are the spot.
That sounds kind of dangerous. Then I might have to get some of those.
It is, but that's why you get them.
Yeah. Well, the beer kind of made me think about maybe old school baseball. So, like, do they ever stock beer in the clubhouse nowadays, or is it a BYOB situation?
Yeah, it's typically a BYOB, but
Mm,
I think it's hard to win a baseball game and not have the availability to just drink a cold beer afterwards.
yeah.
It's a your locker room is a comfortable space for you. It's you spend more time there than you spend at your house. And it's fun to be able to reminisce on a game or talk about what we could have done better or what we need to do next time in order to make something happen. And if you can just sit down and talk about it over a beer like you're at a bar, you have all the time in the world and all the space in the world to do it. So it's
Yeah.
nice to be able to do that for a minute.
Yeah, it makes sense. And, drinking makes me think of music too. So, does Crawford let you sneak any songs into the playlist? Because you have my favorite walk up song in baseball with When the Levee Breaks by Led Zeppelin.
I appreciate that. Yeah, he's actually really open to any sort of new music, and most of his playlists are his own, but they're also collaborative.
Mm.
So he's got playlists for every starting pitcher, and it's based on the type of music that they like. And so, Cobb likes country, and if he's got a song that he likes or wants on there, Craw will instantly put it on. So it's not a straight dictatorship, but I don't know if it's really open to interpretation from all, just maybe a few.
Okay. Last music question. Do you have any big concerts coming up, or have you gone to any lately?
I haven't been to many lately, but I've actually gotten to know Chris Lane a little bit. He lives right down the street from me in Nashville,
Oh,
and
okay.
so he's supposed to play a concert out here in spring training, and so hopefully I'll try and catch that. But not too many on the books right now. But I miss going to concerts. I need to get going to some more.
Well, you're in the right city for it. There's always something happening.
That is true.
So I got some fan questions here. First one is from Barbara. She's from New York, and she wants to know which outfield position do you like best, and do you hope to be permanently assigned to a certain spot?
I like playing center. I really enjoy being able to kind of be in the middle and you know be not necessarily controlling, but moving guys around,
Mm,
reading swings, being able to kind of play the mind game a little bit of where I think the ball is going to go. And with the fences being moved in now at home, it's a little less ground to cover, so it's kind of nice to not have this like massive area that you have to go
mm.
run around in.
Yeah, it makes sense. And another one from Bill from Pleasanton. He wants to know, has your strategy changed at all with no shift, like to maybe get on top of the ball and go gap to gap more? Or...
Yeah, I think it has a little bit, but it's not necessarily because of the shift. It's just been, where my misses have been in the past couple of years. I've hit a lot of fly balls and a lot of soft fly balls, and I just want to get back to being a really pure hitter. So I think that gap to gap approach is a little bit more based on what I want to do to, get myself back to where I've been, but also, it may play nicer now that the shift is gone.
Gotcha. And last fan question here, we got one from Carla from Florida. She wants to know, are you in favor of the bigger bases? And to me, it seems like you'd have more of an advantage as a runner. So,
Yeah, I actually am a fan. When you look at the field, you don't even notice, but they're like
mm,
literally the size of pizza boxes. Like they're massive. But you can't really tell. But it's hopefully it'll be a little more offense based, and it'll help us steal some more bases, maybe beat out a few more hits, and definitely be nice to hopefully avoid some collisions at first base. So yeah, looking forward to that.
well, Mike, it's been good to catch up with you and have you back on the show. One last question. What's on the agenda tonight? It's after the game, spring training. I think you have an off day tomorrow. So, what kind of goes through your mind plan wise with the family?
Yeah, just sit down, have dinner together, kind of relax, and then we'll probably me and Paige will probably watch some F1 after we put Quinley down for bed and give her a bath and little family time and hopefully watch Ferrari run a couple good races and that's about it.
Sounds like a plan. Full on dad life.
That's it.
Cool. Thanks, man. Had a good time, and
Cool,
yeah,
man. I appreciate it.
awesome, man. Thanks.
All right, have a good one.
You too.